Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Herculean Homeschooling. I'm Sarah, homeschool mama of 6, and when I make these videos, I really try to think about what questions I had when I first made the decision to homeschool, and with how overwhelming everything was, what I wish I would have known, or what questions I was having in the moment to be able to kind of fine tune exactly what I was wanting in our family's homeschool adventure. So for today's video, the question I'm going over is, what in the world is faith-based versus faith-neutral versus secular when it comes to choosing a homeschool curriculum? So for me, what faith-based would mean is that it might, talk about God or talk about the creation. Maybe some of the copy work is going to be Bible verses, things like that. And that's exactly what it is. Some faith-based curriculum are maybe more in depth than some others. Other curriculum they have in math, they will talk about things from the Bible, which is great, but for me personally, I was just like, I just want to do math, so, um, so that's like faith-based is definitely exactly that, faith-based for every single subject. So we have faith-based on one side, and then we have secular. So with secular, that is absolutely nothing faith-based whatsoever will be in that curricula. So, for example, if you're looking at how the world was made, in a faith-based curriculum, it's going to teach creation. In a secular curriculum, it's going to teach Big Bang Theory, things like that, different theories that we have on the world today, and it's not going to touch creation at all. Animals, how animals came around, or how we as people came around. In a secular curriculum, it's going to talk about evolution. In a faith-based curriculum, it's again going to talk about creation. Okay, so you have these two different sides. And so just depending on what you're interested in teaching or how you teach it, you might be Christian, but then you might also want your kids to know about evolution. Well, a faith-based curriculum typically, again, look it up depending on the curriculum, typically a faith-based curriculum will not approach the subject of evolution, whereas a secular curriculum will only teach evolution, and then you would have to introduce creation if you wanted to do it that way. So it just kind of depends on what your teaching style is and what you would like to be presented to your children in your home, whichever way. So for secular with math, it is just straight math. There's no Bible verses going along with it. Science is probably the biggest one that people see the most difference between faith-based and secular. And then again, your history is also kind of different, because with your faith-based, your history is going to be like God led these people, here and things, and how God had that whole plan to make sure that this piece happened so that this piece could later happen. Whereas a secular is going to just state the facts, right? This happened and this happened, and it's not going to say somebody was making that happen, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the biggest thing between faith-based and secular. And then we kind of have this middle ground, and it's called faith-neutral. And faith-neutral means that it's not with any particular faith, obviously, but it's also not necessarily secular. So when we approach the topic of how the world was created, it just says, here's the world. And then it's up to you how you want to teach that the world was created. Whereas faith-based is going to tell you creation, secular is going to tell you Big Bang Theory, and then faith-neutral, it just leaves it up to you to teach. It just says, here's the world. Or in faith-neutral, these are the animals, and it'll tell you all about the animals, but it's not going to tell you how the animals got there. So with faith-based, the creation, again, it's going to tell you about that the animals got there and God did it. In secular, it's going to tell you evolution is what made our animals today. And faith neutral, it just says, here are the animals. And then it's up to you how you want to teach that they got there. So those are kind of the biggest differences between faith-based, faith neutral, and secular. It really depends on your personal family style, the reasons that you're choosing to homeschool, and what's available out there and what you might be interested in teaching. As a Christian woman, I automatically thought, well, I'm going to want a faith-based curriculum. And then as I was researching them and seeing the different curricula available, I realized that I want to teach faith in the way that I want to teach faith. I don't want a curriculum telling me how to teach faith to my children. And so that was just me personally. There is so many wonderful, wonderful, wonderful faith-based curricula out there. So I'm not trying to say that there's not. They're really wonderful faith-based curricula. Our family chose to go with a faith-neutral curriculum. So if you're looking for a faith-based curricula, we personally use BookShark, and so I will link their website down below. I have a few other videos based on some unboxings and things with BookShark. If you're interested to see those, you can look through my channel videos. And then there's amazing secular homeschool curricula as well. I know a lot of states that use charters. The government says that you may not use a faith-based curricula because of separation of church and state. And so there are some really great options if you're in a state like that, to where you can get either a faith neutral if you'd rather not talk about evolution and stuff with your kid, but you are using a charter to where you can't use a faith-based one, or you could get a secular one and then just buy your own Bible study or whatever you'd like to go with it. So that is an option for those of you that are getting charters or whatever other thing that your state offers. So that way you can still get an awesome curricula and know that you don't have to just teach secular if you're using government funds. There are faith neutral options that will qualify for those government funds as well. So I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions about the difference between faith-based, faith-neutral, or secular, please feel free to leave those down below in the comments. And I would love to hear what curriculum that y'all choose. Did you choose a faith-based? Did you choose a secular? And why? So be sure to subscribe, hit that button over there, and then you can watch this video over here. Until next time.